Hey everyone, it's Armegon. I have 3 mice on my table. So in this video, I'm going to go through these 3 mice and comparing them to each other. I'll also be going through the pros and cons of each mouse and letting you guys know what I like and dislike about each of them. And at the end of the day, I'll give my final verdict for what you should get for your particular clicking style or PvP method. And if you're planning to buy one of these mice, I would highly recommend staying throughout the entire video, because if you skip parts of the video, you might miss out essential information that will affect your decision on what mouse you want to get. Anyways, with that being said, let's get straight into the video. Alright, first up, Jitterclicking. So, I would get either the G Pro X Superlight or the G Pro Wireless for this one. The main thing that I do not like about the Model O Wireless is that the clicks feel a bit resistant. They're not hard to press down by any means, but they're a bit hard to control because it's a bit of post-travel. When you click on the mouse, there's a bit of distance between the mouse key and the mouse body itself, so you're gonna have to put in a lot more effort if you want to actually click fast without lifting up your fingers from the mouse key. Between the G Pro Superlight and the Wireless, it's a bit hard to say because it's down to personal preference. Even now, I'm swapping between these 2 mice like every time I play because sometimes I prefer the Wireless, sometimes I prefer the Superlight. There are 2 main differences between these mice that will probably affect your decision. The first one is obviously going to be the weight. There's a huge, like what, 20 gram weight reduction between the Superlight and the Wireless, and the weight reduction is both good and bad. The good parts of having a lighter mouse is that your aim is going to be a lot faster compared to a heavier mouse. You can actually play for a far longer period of time compared to when you're using a heavier mouse because there's less strain on your actual hand since, you know, it is kind of like a physical workout. That's a good part of a weight reduction for Minecraft. The bad part is because you're jitter clicking, you are essentially vibrating your entire arm, which means you're vibrating the entire mouse. The Superlight might be a bit too light for some people, especially those who like shake their entire arm to try to get high CPS. By no means is it impossible to control the mouse. Like in I think like 80 or 90% of my videos, I am able to control my Superlight so that it's not shaking. But there are days where I'm really feeling off and my mouse just shakes like freaking Taylor Swift. Like I don't know. As for the Wireless, even though it is slightly heavier, it is good in the sense that your aim is going to be a lot more stable. That's the first main difference between the 2 mice. The second difference is kind of like the main thing that makes me question whether the Superlight was truly an upgrade per se. The clicks on the G Pro Wireless feel extremely good. Like it feels like you're auto-clicking. If you've ever seen like a leaf on the floor or something, or like a dried leaf especially, and you pick it up and it just feels really light. Like it doesn't feel like you're holding anything, right? That's how it is for the G Pro Wireless. It feels like I'm auto-clicking every time I play on it. Like, I get 15 to 16 CPS effortlessly whenever I sweat on the mouse. But here's the thing, even though they claim to be using the same switches across from the Wireless to the Superlight, I find that the Superlight is a bit more resistant. It's a lot harder to get the CPS that I got on the Wireless, and it's a lot harder to be able to click down. I need more effort. By no means are they bad switches. I would still put them in S tier. But I just feel like that is one place that they could have either kept or improved on. But yeah, the Superlight switches for the mouse keys, they're a lot heavier than the G Pro Wireless, though by no means are they bad. So in this case, it's kind of, do you want the lightweight or do you want the light clicks? Both of these mice double click in case you're wondering about that part, so you don't have to worry about that. But yeah, it's down to, do you want weight or do you want effortless clicks? If you want weight, or if you want the lightweight at least, go for the Superlight. If you want to go for very light clicks, go for the G Pro Wireless. For butterfly clicking, I think the winner's pretty obvious. It's gonna be the Model O Wireless. Like I just mentioned, the G Pro Superlight and the G Pro Wireless both can double click, but it's a lot easier to double click on the Model O Wireless, and I mean that's what it's basically designed for when you look at a mouse with the mouse timer. Personally, I only get like 13 to 14 CPS on a butterfly, because I'm not used to the shape on the Model O Wireless. I used to get like 20 on my Death Adder, but I've seen people who can get up to around maybe 26, 27 CPS on the Model O Wireless, which is extremely insane. So yeah, I'm quite sure this segment didn't even have to be added into the video. If you butterfly click, just go for the Model O Wireless. Right, the next segment is going to be on drag clicking, and it's going to be divided into 2 parts. The first part is going to be on bridging, and the second part is going to be on PvP, i.e. reducing. So the question of the hour is, can the G Pro Superlight and the G Pro Wireless drag click? The answer is yes. I get around 18 to 20 CPS on my Model O Wireless, around 15 to 17 CPS on my Superlight, and around 10 to 14 CPS on my G Pro Wireless. If you're bridging, all 3 of these mice are fantastic. In fact, I think I'm playing a clip here of me God bridging or breezily bridging with the Superlight, and I'm drag clicking, as you can see. And yeah, I think that's about it for bridging. So you don't need that much DPS per drag. You just need like 5 CPS. So all 3 mice work for bridging. For reducing, I would personally only go for the Mall Wireless or the Superlight. If you're going to be drag clicking and getting 10 CPS, I'd rather much jitter click, so I wouldn't go for the G-Pro Wireless here. But the Superlight actually works for reducing. It's not going to be that good because it's only 17 CPS compared to like the 30 CPS or the 40 CPS of like a Rocket mouse. But it's really not bad. 17 CPS really isn't terrible by any means. But if you like main drag clicking for like, I don't know, German bit wars, or if you just like to reduce on people, then I would go for the Model Wireless. The Superlight is like a runner-up. It's not one of its features per se. It's just that you can drag click on it. So now we're going to be going through some miscellaneous pros and cons of each mouse that wouldn't really be covered under clicking method. For the Model Wireless, I think everyone has said this before, the shape is extremely awkward. There is no hub for your hand to actually rest on. The next thing about the Model Wireless is a very, very small one. But I absolutely despise the scroll wheel. Like, it just feels so weird to scroll. Right, next up is the G-Pro Wireless. The feet feel weird. If you're using a soft pad, the mouse kind of sinks into the soft pad. So there is a bit more resistance. It's not really a big problem. But in the long run, you might start to feel a difference. Especially if you're using a cheap mouse pad, or if you're not using a mouse pad at all. Compared to the other 2 mice, it is a bit heavier. But once again, if you're able to jitter click, by all means go for it if you're okay with a slightly heavier weight. Finally, is the Superlight. Main nitpick is really just the clicking, like I mentioned earlier. It really was a letdown compared to the original wireless. But once again, by no means is it bad. They're still good. It's just not as good as the G-Pro Wireless. Aside from that, I think all 3 of these mice are fantastic mice. Even the weakest points of the mice, like the Superlight's clicks or the G-Pro Wireless's skates, they're still S tier. There's some new mice coming out soon, like the G-Wolf's Hardy S Wireless and the Extrafy Zeiss Rail, which I'm very, very excited to try out, and I'm hoping they might be competitors for these mice as well. One question people are going to ask me a lot, where is the Rocket and where is the Viper Ultimate? I don't personally own a Rocket, but like 9 out of 10 friends say that they'll prefer the Model Wireless over the Rocket in terms of all of its features aside from CPS. As for the Viper Ultimate, the reason I didn't include it in this video is because the G-Pro Superlight, the G-Pro Wireless, and the Model Wireless are all better than the Viper in almost every shape and form. The only edge the Viper Ultimate might have over all 3 of these mice is its build quality, but in every other aspect, it comes up very, very short. It doesn't get as good CPS, it's much heavier than these 3 mice, and gliding doesn't feel as smooth. Not only that, it's extremely expensive. To my knowledge, it's around the same price as the Superlight, but the Superlight is like 50 times better than the Viper Ultimate easily. I really hope my opinions and experiences with these mice have given you some insight into what you should get and what you shouldn't get for your own respective clicking styles and like preferences. So yeah, once again, I really hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to drop a like and sub, it really helps me a lot. And yeah, peace.